officer for the Central Intelligence Agency. Here's John showing his career intelligence medal with his name on it and the accompanying certificate signed by then CIA Director Leon Panetta. John Ramirez is the real deal. That said, John, through a legal loophole that releases him from a non-disclosure agreement on a few things, just admitted some stuff that I never thought would become public. He admitted that Google, the same Google that you and I know and use, were given their search technology and the Google Earth functionality by the Central Intelligence Agency in return for Google being the tech company that's going to translate, disseminate, and manage data transfers between extraterrestrials and humans. And here he is in his own words.
There were 3 items on the agenda. One was a historical look back at CIA's relationship with UFOs in general. That's where slide 53 was the McMinnville UFO, the famous one in 1950. And that was briefed as, this is an authentic UFO. The reason why it's never been successfully debunked is because it is authentic and we know it. Number 2 was hybrids. And number 3 was the future of information technology will explode. We're working with a company to disseminate.
That company that he's talking about is Google, and he's going to say that. But remember, this meeting that he's talking about was quite a long time ago.
And allow a dialogue of information like this and other information.
John, is
and
this
that
the
company is Google. Google.
Now, this company was going to gather the information and create a dialogue between us and these aliens. This is the CIA. Okay. So you think, okay, that's crazy, right? But
because we had a relationship with Google already. We provided them with Earth Viewer, which became Google Earth, and we provided them with search tools, which became Google Search.
Furthermore, he talked about the underground facilities in St. Louis, talked about his visits to Area 51, and admitted that the CIA knows for a fact that the human race is a mix of primate and alien DNA, and that certain bloodlines got more augmentation than others, and that those bloodlines get surveilled their entire lives by the world's intelligence communities. Wow. I mean, maybe disclosure really is on the calendar. I don't know. This is a high-ranking CIA officer who knows Lou Elizondo and Chris Mellon. The amount of info he gives up on the human hybrid program, and I say that knowing a lot of shit. If you want to watch the whole interview, go to YouTube, Unidentified Celebrity Review, and look up John Ramirez. Now, why? At the end of this particular video, would I remind you to start meditating and developing the powers of your mind? Because that's exactly what I'm telling you to do. Why would I mention that here? Might there be some kind of connection here? You have seen the recent videos I've done where science has proved conclusively that your consciousness reaches out beyond your body, right? That's beyond Six Sigma science, surpassing the minimum requirement that science considers something conclusive evidence. You should probably learn to speak the language of tomorrow. Stay tuned. Love you guys. Peace. So I've known this for
crazy, right?
Awesome.
Well, here's the interview. So the crazy thing is, this is called the Unidentified Celebrity Review. Never heard of this channel, but this is where this guy ends up showing up, and he's totally authentic. He goes through. You can go through and watch this whole interview. I'm going to put this right now in the. No, I'm not going to put it in the chat because then y'all are going to go there and listen and leave the show. I'm going to put it in the description box after the show. How about that? So this guy literally, and guys, I'm trying, you know, I know that the world is going crazy and I'm laughing here, but this is how you have to stay. You got to keep your own mind. And that's what he's talking about, because they are going to mess with people's minds. Remember, men's hearts fail them for fear. For fear. Again, just like I said, the things we're talking about. All I know is that ancient scripture, 40,000 years old, cuneiform, says exactly this. It's what I've talked about on this channel since day one. When I talked about the serpent in the garden, what it was, all of this stuff, all of it. The CIA is now telling you, this officer for the first time is saying, yeah, it's true. He's not even mentioning Enki and Enlil. He's just saying that we're hybrids of an alien species and that some got more augmentation than others. Probably some that have white skin and blue eyes. Capiche? Right? So that's a little bit more augmentation. But he's also saying, and this guy says, and we're going to play a little bit of this. And again, folks, this is a fairly, I mean, it's not a huge channel. He's got, you know, what is that? I can't even really see. 6.9 thousand subscribers. This video has 37,429 views, and it was only uploaded on December 3rd. It was a show from December 3rd of this year. So as I play this, and I'm going to have to pause because I don't want to, you know, piss off these guys. I want you to go watch the video at the place. And if you go there, please tell them that Global Witness sent you. Tell them. So go to unidentified celebrity review, look up John Ramirez. And again, I'll have this link in the description box after the show. But listen to what he says here. Now, I think it's also funny is that this guy right up here, he's got, 4 panel guests. Let me see. This guy right here. They're all a bunch of geeks, right? I mean, in a good way. I'm just not saying that they're not negative comment. I'm just saying they're geeky like me. And but this guy up here, he's hearing what John Ramirez is saying. And at one point during this, it's incredible that even though John Ramirez doesn't say anything remotely like what this guy's insinuating, but he's drawing a conclusion that this alien species hybrid that are more augmented and more powerful and have some things going on are the Jews. So, and he gets offended. And that's not even what this guy says, but it just shows you where things are at. So let's listen to a little bit of this. And again, I'll try to pause through this so I don't, violate their copyright. And I'm actually utilizing this for fair use.
Creators of Android, the operating system.
So he's talking, disclosing Google.
Real quick, I just want to go back one more time to the hybrids and so when they spoke to you about this was something that they were saying. Did they say why they believe this or what they discovered that points to this idea of human reptilian hybrids?
I had to research that on my own. They didn't make that connection.
Did you research it in classified documents or just kind of like online?
No, online. Just putting it together.
But they said specifically that. But they didn't provide any evidence. But they said this
after World War II. Yes, that they discovered that humans are hybrids after World War II. So in my mind, they said, okay, do we know of how we could have gotten alien DNA after World War II? And I go, Roswell crash, bodies. Were there actually bodies recovered? Did we go back into the bodies and find evidence of?
See, now I want to say, again, I'm going to pause. He's saying that he's trying to link it, right? Because this is the thing, and he's really good. This entire interview is really good, guys. He speaks of details about the different kind of levels. Just because some individual within the CIA has top secret clearance doesn't mean that they're all involved in all of the top secret stuff and that they have access to all of it. It is always on a need to know basis, right? So you can have top security clearance and so can your buddy, but yet he doesn't talk to you a thing about what he's working on because you're not supposed to know. So he has to draw his own conclusions. And they even ask him, this is why he's a great interview, because he's incredibly honest and clearly a very well-versed CIA agent, right? Definitely a good guy. And exactly, it's amazing. Every person in the FBI, CIA I've ever met are all just like this. All of them look just like that. Like they're just homebodies. They have just a very modest living. You would never know. The guy gets into, a 20-year-old car, drives to work. They're not opulent. You don't know that these people are doing the level of things that they're doing. But just so you know, so he's trying to draw the conclusion right here in this of, wow, we must have got it from Roswell because there was an alien crash. But the CIA doesn't say that. It goes back far more ancient. And so we're going to cover this, but let's listen a little more.
Humanization, their DNA in ours and ours and theirs. I don't know. But other officers who claim, the other officer who claimed that he saw the Roswell files, Chase Brandon, said, yeah, they were like non-human intelligences recovered from the Roswell crash. He said he saw it. And then he had to write a novel to describe how it goes all the way back to the Atlantean period.
Well, yeah, I'd say that, if they did find alien bodies that had, weird DNA that is alien and ours, wouldn't the kind of obvious answer be that those alien bodies are hybrids and that, like,
exactly.
But you're saying that we're hybrids, right?
We're hybrids. They're hybrids.
Some of us, right? Is that wouldn't it be the only?
All of us are hybrids. Some are more hybridized than others.
Okay, but it could.
Some are more hybridized than others.
They told us that we know there are certain families that have been hybridized to a greater extent than others, and we will be following those families.
That's where, I think a lot of people really take a concern with this theory, because
See, listen to what this guy's. I think a lot of people take concern with this theory. By the way, dude, in the cutoff sleeve shirt, this isn't a new theory. This isn't a theory you've heard from before. You're hearing this for the very first time. This guy is telling you. You should see that if when you watch the interview, just pay attention to that dude's face. It's all of these guys, and the funny thing is, the host of the show is the second from the bottom here, right here. And he's the calmest, coolest collective character of them all. This guy right here begins to lose his mind. He's like, this is why people are concerned.
That sounds a lot like David Ickey's reptilian theory.
Yeah, but I mean, he's
kind of anti-Semitic, right?
He's thinking
that's anti-Semitic, right? You're talking about it's anti-Semitic that there's people that have more augmentation and we'll be following them. Well, who knew? Remember those that say that they are, but they do lie? Yeah, those are them. Crazy, man.
Thinking like, I've not read any of his books. I tried not to read because I want to be unfiltered. But if he's going with like this hybridization being part of a plot to control the world and they're evil, and I don't buy that. I just buy the fact that, that
they're controlling families, powerful families.
No. That some have. What I was told, and so that's a research point for others to research or to debunk or to not believe. I mean, it's up to you.
From a purely semantic standpoint, I mean, we do have DNA variances across humanity. So even if it wasn't, I mean, not to parse it too much, but even if it wasn't a direct influence from an extraterrestrial peoples of some kind, we obviously know that different people have different DNA markers. So it would be very analogous to identifying things. So when we talk about a group of families, it doesn't necessarily have to be a specific ethnicity. It doesn't necessarily have to be a specific religious group.
Right.
I mean, it could be across, just something that we treat as genetic anomaly.
Mm-hmm.
But if there is a genetic anomaly that, we can't trace back, that was just introduced at World War II, I would be shocked if academics would overlook that or not be able to find that.
So that's what I'm curious, because John, you had said ancient families, but then we also have the World War II. So was it we found out during World War II and it had happened prior to that?
Yes.
But we didn't realize it till World War II.
Somebody told us.
Somebody told us after World War II that we have these alien blood mixtures. Well, I don't know. Wasn't that kind of what that guy that was over there gassing a bunch of people found out? Wasn't he down in Antarctica figuring this stuff out too?
Yep.
You can't and see, oh, well, this is a psychological operation. I got to tell you right now, I don't believe that this is a psychological operation. I believe that this is actually more truth because they don't really want you to know. This soft disclosure is soft disclosure because they know that it has to come out, because it does have to come out, because they know that there's stuff going on. And I want to play something else before we do this, so you understand what I'm talking about when I talk about that scripture and what it says, regardless of who wrote it, regardless of whether it's written by the Jesuits and the prophecies are from the Jesuits and they're executing them right now, or whatever your theories are, it's irrelevant, because the end result will be the same. Either manufactured or natural, the end result will be the same. So I wanted to play this. Let me see if I can find this.